Prophet Tom here, and we're starting our day in the Word of God. I'm in a different location at the moment. We have traveled 17 hours from Brisbane down to Canberra to be with our family for a little while. And so from time to time, I'll continue bringing our little study each morning as time allows. But let's continue with our reading from Acts chapter 14. And we're looking at today in a very important aspect of the supernatural. And it is not what you see, it is what you don't see that matters. With our illustration in Acts chapter 14, we see this phrase happening within the life of a crippled man. It says, "And in Lystra, a certain man without strength in his feet was sitting, a crippled from his mother's womb, who had never walked." This man was destined to be a crippled all of his life. He had never walked. You see, it's not what you see. What he could see in the natural was that he would never walk. But in Acts chapter 14, we see that for a season he sat under the influence and power of God through the Apostle Paul, and faith began to occur. He began to see himself walking. It's not what you see, it's what you don't see that matters. Right around you, in this environment we live, you may feel that there is no hope. You may feel that there is no way out. You may feel that the enemy has overtaken, especially you people in America right now going through this election. There is a mixture of fear, of possibilities, of impossibilities, and there is a fear for the future. Well, let's look at a great example in the Word of God. In Judges chapter 6 and verse 12, we read these words. "And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, mighty man of valor." Now we know the situation with Israel at this time. The Midianites had been attacking, and here is Gideon hiding up in a cave. And yet the angel of the Lord comes to him and said that he was a mighty man of valor. Now, Gideon didn't see that. See, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. God could see the heartbeat of Gideon. Gideon couldn't see the heartbeat. I'm sure that for days and months he cried out to God as a young man and said, "God, why is society like it is? Why do we get elected in Queensland a government that every policy virtually is anti-God and anti-Christian?" And that may have been the cry of Gideon as he was hiding in a cave, crushing the wheat to make some food so that the Midianites would not come and take it from him. You see, what he could see was despair. What he could see was starvation. What he could see was the enemy encamped around about them. But it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. God looked at Gideon and saw a mighty man of valor. Gideon looked at Gideon and saw anger, and saw defeat, and saw rejection, and saw hurts. But it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. Let's read verse 13 of that passage. It says this, "And Gideon said to him, O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, Why then has all of this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us about, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? Now, here we see in verse 12 that the angel of the Lord is calling him a mighty man of valor. Gideon doesn't respond to that. He responds in sarcasm. He responds in anger and says, well, he acknowledged that it was God, but he said, where are all these miracles? Why are we living in despair? Why are we living in defeat? He's saying the Lord has abandoned us. Do you feel that way with this COVID-19? Do you feel that way with the governments we have in society today? Do you feel that way when you look at the ongoings in the situation in America with the elections and other things? Do you feel that God has abandoned you? Let me say this. There is a difference between hearing a word and receiving a word. And we're going to finish there and pick that up again next time I can come on to you. But there is a difference between hearing a word and receiving the word. Most times in the Bible, when God appeared before man, man would fall on their face and begin to cry out, I'm not worthy. Oh, I'm dead. I'm not worthy. But here Gideon is defiling God and coming back with accusations. He acknowledged God, but he didn't acknowledge the sovereignty of God. He didn't hear the word that God said, O mighty man of valor. There is a difference between hearing a word and receiving a word. As I close, this is where the church is today. We stand and we listen to a lot of sermons. We stand and we go to church every Sunday. But there's a difference between hearing a word and receiving a word. To live in the supernatural, we must receive the word. So today, receive the word. Go forth. Go forth. Go forth, being a mighty man of valor over the situation in your life, over the situation in your state, over the situation in your country. Well, God bless you. I just wanted to bring this short talk briefly. We've just, as I said, traveled 17 hours, and but I wanted to bring the word to you today because it's important that as believers we learn to live in the supernatural. Well, bless you. Have a great day.